Welcome back to the data structure and operation section. Today we will be discussing the second example of data structure, queue. So what do you mean by a queue, or what is the definition of a queue? Here I have placed an image of a queue. Consider this is a queue at the ticket counter. So we know that the first person standing in the queue will be the first to receive the ticket. Okay, so and if a new person is coming to the queue or added to the queue, he will be standing at the back position of the last person. Clear? So queue is a data structure which follows the FIFO principle. FIFO. FIFO means first in, first out. The first person in the queue will be the first person will be the first person that is coming out, or the first person to be deleted, or the first person to receive the ticket. Okay, so in the case of data structure, the position where the data is deleted is known as the front end. Deleted means the person receiving the ticket, the person that is coming out, any meaning can be given here. So the position where the data is deleted is known as front end, and the position where the data is inserted in the case of queue is known as rear end. Clear? So queue is a data structure that follows the FIFO principle, first in, first out principle. Queue has two ends, front end and rear end. So what's the use of front end? Front end is used to delete the data from the queue, and rear end is used to insert the data to the queue. And the last one is queue can be physically implemented with the help of the array, as in the case of stack. So in the program, if we want to implement the queue, we are using the concept of array. Hope you are clear with the definition of queue. Now we are going to a second point, how queue is implemented. We have already said queue can be physically implemented with the help of the array. So we are going to detail how this can be implemented with the help of array. Okay, so here I have drawn a queue. There are 10 elements in the queue. Since it is an array, physically implemented using an array, the index value ranges from 0 to 9. That means it can contain 10 elements. And see this example, I have entered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 elements in the queue, or 5 persons are standing in the queue. So we have already said the front data means that the position where the data can be deleted is known as the front, and the rear denotes the insertion. Okay, so here front means, in the above example, front is placed here. That means the value of front contains the index value 0. So if I want to delete the data, first 25 will be deleted. That is the meaning of this front position. Okay, so in the case of rear, if I want to add the data, here already contains the data contains till the 4th index position. So again, if I want to add data, I have to increment this rear position, and then the data can be added. So at present, the value of rear is 4. That means 4 means the index position is 4. Okay. So if I want to add data, I have to increment the rear value and then added this position. For in the other case, the value at the front, in the case of deletion, first the data will be deleted and then the value will be incremented. Clear? Whereas in the case of insertion, first the rear should be incremented and the data is inserted. Okay, so in the above example, queue can store maximum of 10 elements. Here 5 elements are stored in the array ranging from the position 0 to 4. Here the value of front is 0. Here the value of front is 0. 0 means it is index value. That means this is the position where the data can be deleted, and the rear is 4. So if I want to add the data, I have to again increment the position and then add the data. Okay. The first element in the queue is referred as queue of front. So the first element is queue of front means queue of 0, that means 25. And the last element in the queue is queue of rear, that means queue of 4. Queue of 4 is 65. Clear? Now, there is one special case in which the queue is empty. Consider this queue is empty, it does not contain any data. In that case, the value of front and the value of rear will be -1. So if the value of front and value of rear is -1, that means queue is empty. So that point should be taken for consideration while studying. So if the value of front and rear is equal to -1, means, what does it mean? It means queue is empty. Or in other words, we can say if the queue is empty, the value of front and rear will be -1. Okay. So this is how queue is implemented using the array. Now next we are going to look what are the various operations that can be performed on the array. As in the case of stack, here also we can perform two operations, insertion and deletion. So insertion means adding items to the queue. I have already said if I want to insert element into the queue, first the rear position should be incremented by 1. Okay, so rear position should be incremented by 1 until it reaches the highest subscript. That means if it contains 10 elements, the highest subscript will be 9. So until it reaches, until the rear value reaches the subscript value 9, the data can be inserted. And if it exceeds the highest subscript value, the message queue full should be printed. Okay, so that is the meaning of the statement. So if you want to insert an element into the queue, first what we have to do, first the rear position should be incremented by 1, and then the data can be inserted to the corresponding position of the queue. What's the condition till which the rear can be incremented till it reaches the highest subscript? So that is a condition where the insertion can be stopped or the queue full can be printed. Okay, so I have given various examples here. This is a example of queue empty. Here there is no items in the queue. So I have already said if the queue is empty, the front value and the rear value will be -1. So just imagine the positions front and rear. This will be here because it is -1. It is in the position of -1. The pointer, so the pointers front and rear will be here. So the data are not inserted to the queue, or there is no data in the queue. So this is the image of queue empty. Okay. In the next case, we have inserted first data. So I have inserted the first data. To insert the first data, we have already said we have to increment the rear value. So the rear value is incremented. So in the case of first data, the front value and the rear value should be incremented by 1 only in the case of first data, because the insertion as well as the deletion should take deletion also. If I want first I am going to insert data, so to insert the data I have to increment from -1 increment by 1, that is -1 plus 1, that will be 0. Index value will be 0. Okay, so the rear is incremented and the data is inserted at the corresponding position. So, and I am adding 25 here. And when the data is inserted, we can delete the data. If I want to delete the data, I can delete the data 25 from here. So to delete the data, also I have to increment the front value. So in the first case, the front and the rear will get the index value as 0. Okay, so the pointer will point to the index value 0 only in the case in which the first data is inserted. Clear? Okay, now assume the second data is inserted. So if I want to insert for second data, we have already said the rear value should be incremented by 1. In the previous case, the rear value was pointing to the index value 0. So it is incremented by 1. Now the rear value comes to the index value, points to the index value 1, and here the data is inserted 16. Okay, so the front value remains here itself because we have not deleted any data. So the front value will be 0 and the rear value will be 1. Okay, next I am going to insert the third data. The third data, to insert the third data, in the previous case the rear was at the index value 1. I am incrementing by 1. First I am incrementing by 1. So the index value will be, the pointer will point to the index values 2, and then the data is inserted, 36 is inserted. In this case also, the front pointer will point to the index position 0 itself. Okay, clear? So the front is 0 and the rear is 2, index value 2. Okay, so next we are going to look at the algorithm for inserting data into the queue. Now consider the array name as queue and the maximum number of elements that can be inserted to the queue, take it as n, and the data to be inserted, take it as val. Okay, consider it as val, val, and the front end variable is denoted by the variable front and the back end variable is denoted by the variable rear. Okay, so the first point while inserting data to the queue is that we have to check whether the queue is empty or not. Okay, first we have to check whether the queue is empty or not. If it is full, we cannot insert data into the queue. So the first point to be checked while inserting data is check whether the queue is empty or not. How can we check whether the queue is empty or not? To check whether the queue is empty, we know that the rear value will be -1. Okay, so if the rear value is -1, that means the queue is empty. There is no error in adding items. We can add items to the queue. Okay, so if the rear value is 1, I have already explained, we should place the pointer, we should increment the value by 1. So -1 plus 1 is equal to 0, and that's a special case in which we have to change the front value and the rear value as 0. Not only the rear value should be changed to 0, the front value should also be changed to 0 in this case, only in this case where the queue is empty. Okay, so in the here we have changed the front and rear value to 0 since the queue is empty, and I am going to insert the data. The name of the array is queue, and we are going to insert the data with the help of the rear variable. So queue of rear is equal to value. That means value will be inserted to the queue. Okay, now next condition to be checked is whether the queue is full or not. Okay, or whether we can add items to the queue, or whether it has reaches the highest subscript. How we can check this? We can check this by the simple expression if rear is less than n-1. Then rear is less than n-1 means consider and the value, the maximum number that can be inserted into the queue is 10. That means 10 minus 1, rear should be less than 9. Okay, we have already said if I want to insert data, we have to first increment the value of rear. So rear less than 9 means rear, if the rear is 8, okay, if the rear is 8, it is possible. It means if the rear is 8, rear is less than 9. If the rear is less than 9, that means the rear should be first incremented by 1. Okay, first incremented by 1, then the data is added to the queue. Clear? Otherwise we have to print queue overflow or queue is full. Any messages can be printed here. Clear? Okay. So next we are going to the second operation on the queue, deletion operation. So what's the procedure for deleting operation? For deleting the operation, first the data should be deleted, and then the front pointer should be incremented by 1. First the data should be deleted, and then the front pointer should be incremented by 1. Here also I have drawn some of the examples. Consider this example. We have inserted 3 datas. Okay, now I am going to delete the first data 25. So the first data 25 should be deleted. The first data 25 is removed, and then the front value is incremented by 1. So after deleting the data 25, the front value will be incremented by 1. So now the front value becomes 1. That is a diagram drawn here. That is the meaning of the diagram drawn here. Okay, so now the front value is 1 and the rear value is 2. Index value 2 points to the index value 2. And we have removed the data 25. Next, if I want to remove the data, I am going to remove the data 16. The 16 is removed, and the front pointer is after removing 16, the front pointer is incremented by 1. So now after the 16 is removed, the friend pointer comes to the index value or points to the index value 2. Clear? So now the front and rear comes at the same index value 2. Okay. Now consider this example. Here we have only one data 28. Consider I have deleted this data, and and after deleting the data, we know that before deleting the data, the friend should be positioned at the 2. Before deleting the data, the friend will be positioned at 2. And after 28 is deleted, clear? After 28 is deleted, friend will be incremented by 1. The position will be incremented by 1. That means the friend will point to the index value 3. Okay, so now the friend is at 3. The friend position is at 3, and the rear still it will be at the 2, because we have not inserted any data in addition. Okay, so this is the case in which the queue is empty. Because how we can decide the queue is empty? Another way, in the case of deletion, how we can decide the queue is empty, or where will the deletion will be stopped? The deletion will be stopped when friend becomes greater than, the index value of friend becomes greater than rear. Okay, so if the friend becomes greater than rear, that means the deletion should be stopped there because there is no data items in the queue. Hope all of you are clear with this example. Once again I repeat, consider I want to delete the data 28. So before deleting the data 28, the friend will be placed at the queue. The friend pointer will be placed at the index value 2. Okay, and after deleting 28, the friend will be incremented by 1. So now the friend will come to the index value 3. So the queue became empty. So what is the stopping condition, or what will be the stopping condition of deletion? The stopping condition of the deletion will be when the front index value becomes greater than the rear value. The deletion should be stopped, or after that we cannot delete from items from the queue because the queue is empty. Okay, so this example you should be very clear. The concept should be very clear. When friend is greater than rear, it means the queue is empty and we cannot further delete any items from the queue. Okay. Next we are going to discuss about the algorithm for deleting data to the queue. So here also consider the array name queue. Array name is queue. The maximum number of elements that can be stored in the queue is n, and the val is a variable that stores data from the queue. And front end variable is denoted by the variable front, and the back end variable is denoted by the variable rear. Okay, so first in the case of deletion, we have to check. First we have to check whether the queue is empty or not. If the queue is empty, we cannot delete data from the queue. Okay, so to check whether the queue is empty, at the first stage we can use the variable front. We can check whether it is greater than -1. So if friend is greater than -1, that means that the queue contains data. Okay, so if friend is less than -1, that means the queue is empty. That is the meaning of friend greater than -1. So if friend is greater than -1, then that means here, if the condition is true, means the queue contains data. So if the queue contains data, the corresponding position of the friend, the data at the corresponding position of the friend can be accessed. Clear? So the statement val is equal to queue of friend means the data at the friend position is accessed and stored in the variable val. Indirectly we are saying the data is deleted or accessed. Okay, so after accessing the data, we have already said we have to increment the value of friend by 1. So in the case of deletion, first the data is accessed and then the friend pointer is incremented by 1. So the first data is accessed with the statement val is equal to queue of friend, and then the friend position should be incremented by 1, making it ready for the deletion of the next element. Clear? So these two are the statements which come under the true portion, and the else portion, false portion, what will be? Queue underflow. That means there is no data in the queue. We cannot delete data from the queue since the queue is empty. That's the meaning of queue underflow. Okay. In next case, we have to check. In the last example, I have shown after deleting the queue, elements from the queue, it reaches a situation in which the front value becomes greater than rear. Okay, so that condition is checked with the statement. If front is greater than rear, that means here also queue is empty. So since queue is empty, we have to rearrange the positions of front and rear, making it ready for storing the next data. Okay, so if front is greater than rear, if it is true, then front and rear should be assigned to -1. That means if the pointers are assigned to -1, that means now the queue is completely free and it is ready for inserting new items to the queue. So that is the meaning of front is equal to rear is equal to -1. Okay. So we have completed the two operations on queue, insertion and deletion. Hope all of you have understood these two operations. So next we are going to the special topic of queue, circular queue. So what is the importance of circular queue, or what is the difference between an ordinary queue and a circular queue? So this is a very simple example to illustrate. I have drawn to illustrate the importance of circular queue. Consider this example. Here the friend is placed at the friend is at the position at the index position 7. That means we can delete data 25. It is ready to delete data 25, and the rear is placed at the position, or rear is at position is not placed. Rear is at the position 28. So if I want to add if I am planning to add a item to the queue, it will print the message queue full. Okay, but here see, there are lots of vacant spaces here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 free spaces are left here, but still the queue prints the message queue is full. So this situation can be avoided with the help of the circular queue. Hope all of you have understood the situation where the circular queue is implemented. Here there are 7 spaces, but still the queue will print if it is ordinary queue, it will print the message queue is full, since the rear pointer points to the last subscript of the queue. So if I am trying to insert a new element, the rear should be incremented by 1. Okay, so the rear position will be 10. Since 10 is not in the subscript, 10 cannot be accessed by the array, it prints the message queue full. But here there are already 7 free spaces. So this is a critical condition. So this situation can be avoided with the help of a circular queue. So what is a circular queue? Circular queue is a special queue in which two ends meet together. Okay, the index value, the last index value and the first index value meet together in the case of circular queue. That's the meaning of two ends meeting together. It means the first index value and the second value will be joined together to form a circular queue. So what is special of this queue? We know that in the previous example I have shown the rear value is at position 7. In this example there are only 8 elements. Maximum number of elements that can be inserted in this example is 8. Okay, so the index value will range from 0 to 7, and now the rear value is placed at 7. So if I want to add an item, the rear value should be incremented by 1. So in this case, since it is joined together, the real values, when it reaches the highest subscript, when the rear value reaches at the highest subscript, it is automatically placed at the next position. That means it automatically will be assigned to the first index value through the program. Okay, so you need not study about the programming section related to circular queue. Just understand the physical structure. So this is a queue in which two ends meet together. Since they meet together, we have the provision to add items to the queue in which it contains free spaces. Okay, so here even though the rear value is at maximum, since there are free spaces at the starting location, data can be inserted. Since there are free spaces here, the data can be automatically inserted to the next positions. Clear? Okay. So we have completed the four important points of the queue. In the next class also, we will be continuing with the chapter data structures and operations. Thank you.